Let's start with a challenging question. What if being a good person isn't what you think it is? What if that nice person you show the world is actually hiding the most powerful parts of who you are?
Sound familiar? You'd rather do anything than have a difficult conversation, even if it means giving up what you really want. And that flash of anger or frustration you sometimes feel, you shove it down. You tell yourself it's wrong, that good people don't get angry, so you bury it.
Your own needs, they're always on the back burner. Maybe they don't even make the list at all. It's just always about what everybody else needs from you.
And you've built this whole identity around these habits. You think, I'm a good person because I do these things. But what if that's not the whole story?
This idea, often tied back to the psychologist Carl Jung, really cuts to the heart of it. It suggests that real virtue isn't about being unable to do harm. It's about having the capacity for it, but choosing not to.
So let's break that down. Real morality, on one hand, is a conscious choice you make from a place of strength. But repression? That's totally different. That's an unconscious habit, a kind of goodness that's really born out of fear. Fear of being rejected, fear of your own power.
So here's the kicker. That nice persona isn't a sign of inner peace at all. In fact, it's often a sign of a deep inner war, a constant, exhausting battle happening inside of you.
So, how did this happen? How did this division even start? Well, to get it, we need to look at two key ideas: the mask you wear and the shadow that it casts.
From the time you were a kid, you learned the rules, right? Don't be selfish, don't be loud, be agreeable. You got rewarded for playing that part. So you built a mask, what Jung called the persona. It's the version of you that's designed for one thing: social approval.
But what about all the stuff that didn't fit the mask? Your anger, your ambition, that raw desire to be in charge of your own life. Well, you had to put it somewhere. You pushed it all down into a part of your mind called the shadow. And you can see that split right here, clear as day. On one side, you've got the accepted persona, agreeable, selfless, quiet. And on the other, the rejected shadow, full of anger, ambition, desire. You literally cut yourself in two. But here's the thing you have to understand. Just because you ignore the shadow doesn't mean it goes away. Oh no, it doesn't die. It just waits, and it runs your life from behind the scenes, through things like passive-aggressiveness or sudden burnout.
So how does this hidden shadow actually show up? The truth is, you don't really have to go digging for it. It reveals itself to you every single day.
Here's a really simple exercise. Think about the people who just get under your skin. The ones who trigger a really strong, almost irrational negative feeling in you. That resentment, that's a map pointing right to your shadow.
Is it that person at work who seems so effortlessly confident? Or the one who is just completely unapologetic about their success? Or maybe it's the one who is just ruthlessly ambitious. You might just call them arrogant, but there's something much deeper going on. Here it is. In those moments, when you feel that intense reaction, you're not actually seeing that other person clearly. You are seeing a projection of your own unlived potential, the confidence you buried, the ambition you decided was bad. So that feeling of judgment, it's not really about them. It's actually a kind of grief. You are mourning the parts of yourself that you never gave permission to exist.
So what's the answer then? The way forward is integration, but it is absolutely critical to understand that this is not about becoming a jerk.
This is probably the biggest misunderstanding about shadow work. The point isn't to just unleash all that buried aggression on the world. No way. The point is to become whole, to bring all the pieces of yourself back together into one complete person.
Because your shadow isn't just a container for bad stuff, it contains your power, your real drive, your creativity, your ability to actually set boundaries, and maybe most importantly, your self-respect. It's all in there. And look at this transformation. When you finally integrate these parts, they don't stay ugly. That buried anger, it transforms into clarity, the power to know what you want. That so-called selfishness, it becomes healthy self-worth. And that aggression you were so afraid of, it becomes ambition, the fuel you need to build the life you actually want.
Think about it like this. If you're literally incapable of saying no or standing up for yourself, you're not choosing to be peaceful. You're just submitting. Real peace is a choice, and you can only make that choice if you have the integrated power to do otherwise.
Okay, so where do you start? How do you begin this journey of becoming whole and real? It all starts with one small, conscious choice. This is your first practice.
The very next time you feel yourself about to say yes, when every fiber of your being is screaming no, just pause. And in that pause, recognize that impulse for what it is. It isn't kindness. It's fear. Fear of conflict. Fear of what they'll think.
This is the real work. It's not a quick fix. It's a conscious process of welcoming back all the parts of you that you exiled. It's about finally owning your anger, your ambition, and taking back the power you gave away.
And remember, the goal here isn't to become a darker version of yourself. It's about finally stopping the performance and starting to be real. It's about becoming complete, integrated, and authentically, powerfully whole.